Damas y caballeros, usted está escuchando al mero mero, al más macho, el más chingón de los chingones. You're listening to Bruce Montalvo and Jaja.
That's right, y'all. What's up, y'all? That's the great Montalvo and Jaja.
And that's right, I am introducing the show en español because we just came back from sunny Florida.
That's right, Bruce. Yeah, it was like quite beautiful over there, wasn't it?
It was, but like every other trip that you take in the America of today, this new America with a K, it starts off with a visit from the good old TSA, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like they pat you down nowadays, and it's like they should go and have a cigarette right after. And this time, I mean, I had to go through that stupid body scanner that gives you cancer, that Chertoff put in there. And it wasn't enough. They still wanted to touch the sexual icon.
They still had to touch
it. And this time, they even went through my wallet. And I told one of the bastards that was there, I was like, because there's a sexy picture of my wife in my wallet.
And he was looking at that shit.
And I'm like, yeah, that's my wife. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, please leave the $20 bill that's in there, you bastard. I mean, they're really getting out of hand. I mean, I called it right away. As soon as you go to an airport, it's like, what happened to my civil liberties? I have to surrender like Pavlov's dog to these people. I mean, really, why don't you expand on that a little bit?
Traveling sucks. It's just a reason to be raped. I mean,
pretty much.
It attracts a lot of psychos. I mean,
you see the scumbags that work there? I mean, just get a good look at it. They look like scum. They look like trash. They look like filth. They look like degenerates, like the degenerates in the Democratic Party. That's why there's a D. It stands for degenerate, or depraved, or demagogue. That's what it stands for.
I guess so.
You guess so. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it is February 15th, 2016. And thank you for listening to us on TalkStream Live. That's right. We're airing live on TalkStream Live. So be sure to go to TalkStreamLive.com and check out the Bruce Montalvo Show. You could also check us out on your iPad, your iPod Touch, your Android phone. Just go to Spreaker.com and look for the Bruce Montalvo Show. Be sure to Google that up. And follow us on Twitter at Bruce Montalvo and at Jaja. Right? And you got some hot jams, just as hot as Miami Beach, where we were vacationing the whole week. I mean, we didn't tell the Montalvo Nation that because, the criminals that are on Facebook, they get to looking at your profile and they know who, what, when, how, and where you're going to be. So, we tend not to let these criminals, these freaking Black Lives Matter or Ted Turner Anons know what we're doing.
It's not smart to tell people where you are when you're away from your home anyway. It's just not.
But anyway, we had a great time in Florida. We were out there, visiting, and I had the steak tartare by the beachside, right? And to the dismay of all the libtards and the feminists posing as neocons.
I guess so, yeah.
But really, you got a nice tan. I mean, you were out there looking muy sexy. I mean, tell us a little bit.
Yeah, it's great. New York sucks comparatively, Makes you want to leave New York. Just makes you more want to leave this place. Dingy. I could just feel the tritium pissing out of me.
Yeah, you could cut the tritium out here from the Indian Point nuclear power spill like with a knife. It's ridiculous, folks.
Yeah, and Hillary said shut it down, man. I mean,
that was last week on last week's show, right?
It's great. I'm
I don't know.
Proud of her.
That's probably one of the only things I agree with that demagogue on. And of course, they had the demagogue Marxist debate here in Brooklyn. We were sure to avoid that, weren't we? I mean, I wasn't watching that, at all, folks. Not at all. I mean, I caught the highlights just so I can diss these bastards on my show.
Yeah, I think it was right around the block, actually.
No, but here's the thing. All these scumbag Brooklyn hipsters were out there demanding that the bar owners show the Democratic demagogue debate. You believe these bastards? You believe this scum? That's why I was like, man, I am not walking out while this Democratic commies are out there, waging war, raging hell.
Yeah, Bruce. I don't know why they're there, but I think that the
For
whole
the
thing
debate in Dumbo.
But I think that the whole thing is to try to get the Occupy Wall Street people to incite them and to inspire like these the anti-establishment kind of artsy people to still love government. They think they're getting a guy like Bernie, and they're all running around like loving government. Either way, they're not going to get Bernie, but they're still loving government at the end of the day. So it's a big fucking joke.
It's more than a joke. I mean, they want you to believe that it's this GOP bipartisan big government octagon where Cruz is hitting Trump with the ground and pound, and then Trump's responding with hammer shots. I mean, and then you have Hillary anaconda choking Bernie. I mean, it's all just a big lie. They want to play it out like it's a big fight, a big just the gauntlet has been thrown down, the big just gun down, Mexican freaking gun session, Mexican standoff.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's the thing. It's just a big stinking lie. And in actuality, most Americans just think that the economy is getting worse. And that's out on CNBC. They just put that out in the mainstream media that most Americans in a survey believe the economy is getting worse. Meanwhile, you have these Sesame Street freaking characters that sound like bad 10th grade teachers like Colonel freaking Bernie Communist Nazi Sanders out there and all these other losers who are getting a taste of their own medicine. You saw that in the end he learned what socialism is. He gathered up some delegates, and in the end Hillary just took them all. They weren't hers, but she still took them anyway.
Right.
So there you go. There's a lesson in redistributing your chicken, Bernie. You freaking schmuck.
It's just a joke. I mean, everything is a charade based on, Hillary winning, and it's like follow the yellow brick road, follow the yellow brick road. And they go see the Wizard of Oz, the OZ, which is gold, which is like the old.
That's right, big money.
That's how the Nazis came here. Saying they brought their little gold to the FBI Here, Mr. FBI agent, give me a new identity. In this identity, I want to have a brain. So make me a rocket scientist here.
That's funny, but seriously, after watching those highlights from the Brooklyn Schmendrick, Bernie Sanders, and the blood pyro gangster Hillary Clinton, I mean, I truly know what the D in Democrat Party stands for. Like I said, degenerate, depraved, and diseased, diabolical, demagogues. That's what the D stands for.
Yeah, degenerate.
Exactly, and that D in degenerate is what's going to pave the way for the perverts, the filth, the scum posing as trannies to have their transgender bathroom. Well, you're in there with your kid, you know what I mean, trying to let it take a piss. It's this tranny with hairy legs is going to walk in there. How are you going to like that? How are you going to explain that to little Johnny and Sally?
I really don't know what to do about it. That's their fucking problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, they should just, if they're a guy, they should just piss on a tree and, get a ticket like a real man. I mean, I don't know why they need a special bathroom for. I mean, they're going to, why, before, did they really think they could walk into a woman's room? Or why? They thought they were going to be raped in a man's room?
That's what's going to happen. It's just going to be a bunch of criminality. And have you actually seen the logo for these transgender bathrooms? They have, half man, and then the other one has, a little half skirt.
That's retarded.
It's retarded. It really
is.
is.
What if you're a woman that went to be a man? Then you're you still get to use it. You see?
Trust me. Just wait till I talk about the top 10 list that I didn't steal from David Letterman from my home offices in Butte, Montana. Wait till I discuss one of the stories in there. It's just gonna leave you people floored, folks. And, I mean, let's go back to this demagogue debate. I mean, like I said, I think Hillary just kept quiet during the debate. I mean, because statistics show that most of the time when her mouth is open, she's just lying.
She is a politician.
So she kept quiet because, like we said last week, we said that the Illuminati is going to crown her president. So they just told her, look, just put your finger over your mouth and just shush it until you're president. Because every time you open your mouth, it's just one big stinking lie after another.
Yeah, well, that's the job of all politicians. I don't know, tell me one politician that is not a liar. I think that's part of the job qualification. You have to be like an expert liar in order to...
That's the thing. Let's break down the word politician. Policy and then tiction. Basically bloodsucker.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
A practicer.
A practicing bloodsucker.
Yeah.
That's right.
One who practices lying.
not only is Hillary Clinton a bloodsucker, folks, but she's also a bona fide racist. That's right. She's just plain racist.
Yeah,
she is so racist.
That.
I'll prove it. As a matter of fact, she herself proves she's a racist by endorsing that race pimp slimeball FBI informant Al Sharpton as of late. I mean, she basically, that's why she kept quiet during the Democrat debate. She let him do the talking. That's right, folks. That tells you what Hillary Clinton thinks of Black America. She thinks that the arbiter of Black America is Al Sharpton. Al fat fucking Sharpton. Okay? I mean, basically there's this article that reads, Clinton sings while Sharpton praises. First of all, Sharpton's the one that's singing to the freaking feds all the time. Alright? Just basically setting up all of Jay-Z and George Soros' little minions out there for Black Lives Matter. And they've been raising hell as of late too. I mean, so it's just ridiculous, folks. You have Hillary Clinton praising Al Sharpton, and then she turns around and calls Trump a racist, and then Trump fires back. You know what I'm saying? It's like back
like a
and
novella,
forth.
Huh?
Just exactly. That's why I started the show off in Spanish, because I could be working for Telemundo broadcasting this freaking reality
show.
GOP just demagogue debates.
It's unbelievable. It's so phony. It's just everything's just like I could see them Tavistock idiots just scripting what they're doing the next day. I don't know I do know where they come up with their stupidity from. They just pay attention to the population and do something stupid.
You're stupid. Hashtag stupid, folks.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm serious. I mean, how can Hillary Clinton even have a leg to stand on? She's calling the Nazi freaking that Donald Trump is, just the fascist that wants to waterboard everybody, who wants to have an abortion. He just wants to waterboard everyone. I think he's just pissed because they showed that unflattering, painting of his freaking small little micro freaking penis. And they're showing it all over the place, and then they're showing it in LA, so he's like scared of that, it's just that everybody's gonna see his nakedness. His naked fascism. Sounds like a book.
Naked fascism.
Naked fascism.
I love it.
That's right.
Forget freedom to fascism. It's naked fascism.
Exactly, folks. But that's the thing. And, Trump hit it right on the money, too, when he said that the system's rigged. I think that's more just common sense. I mean, just look at these stupid delegates, as I call them. They call them super delegates, like they're like the fucking Justice League or something. I call them stupid delegates. Because it's stupid that you think that your vote matters when there's these super friends stupid delegates that are going to decide everything at the end of the day.
It's so true.
So you're an idiot for going out there and putting on your little red Donald Trump hat and my Rand and my Ron Paul t-shirt.
I can't believe that my cousin's uncle is like a huge supporter. He gave like $1.9 million to Trump. I saw in the newspaper, the Washington
I saw
Post.
that. His name was right next to Vince McMahon.
I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what the fuck? That guy never gave me shit. He used to try to charge me top dollars.
That's the
like,
thing. That article
no,
was saying that Trump doesn't pay for any of his charity. I mean, basically, if he's going to help somebody out, he doesn't mano a mano, but most of his charity is paid for by other people.
Right.
Vince McMahon from the WWF being one of them, and then...
my cousin's uncle.
Wow.
Yeah, he was the second one. You know, so but you know, everybody got their reasons. You know, to do what they do. You know,
I think that was on the Washington Post. I saw that.
Yeah, the Washington Post.
Right, right.
It was just unbelievable. And he also gave to, like, Serena Williams. So he gave to, like, individuals. So, I mean, yeah, Donald, you know what I'm saying? You want to, you know, give us a little bit of kickback. You know what I'm saying? We're promoting you. You know, you could definitely buy our jewelry. I know you've seen it before. You know, we're on Etsy. That's etsy.com/shop/antique obsessions. We're back. You know what I'm saying? Ready to roll. Just hit me up. You know, I might even give you free shipping. You know what I'm saying? Just say, what up, Trump? You know what I'm saying? Like, say Plaza Express or something. I'll give you that extra discount. You know what I'm saying?
Hashtag, you know what I'm saying. So that's the thing, folks. We were talking about speaking about arbiters for black people. Kobe Bryant was one of those arbiters. I mean, he could pretty much just spin a basketball in front of the police and all rape charges would be dropped immediately, which I think he did. But anyway, Kobe Bryant, folks, retired, one of my favorite Laker players. I actually grew up watching him in 1996. With Nick Van Exel, Eddie Jones, all that whole crew after they traded Vlade Divac. But he pretty much helped usher in this whole Illuminati freaking basketball Illuminatist mentality in the NBA with his Illuminati-themed commercials. I mean, Turkish airline, he's building the Grandmaster Pyramid, and then in his Nike commercials, his logo is a Baphomet, and he's got masonry triangles everywhere. I mean, it's just ridiculous, folks. And now LeBron James is doing the same thing. But it's to be expected. I mean, the Black Boule runs all that.
That's right.
You know, but he recently retired, and I have a video up on Exposed News, which has given Trump a lot of press, because one of our top-rated videos up there is, like, going crazy, the Donald Trump Goes Full Retard video. You can check that out, Exposed News on YouTube, and pretty much exposed Kobe Bryant, Baphomet symbolism exposed, Illuminati puppet, Kobe Bryant retires. I think it's funny, this article right here from Rolling Stone. Kobe Bryant, goodbye to the NBA's all-time asshole. And that guy kind of was an asshole on the court. You know what I mean? But I got a funny story. I actually met Kobe Bryant in Cabo San Lucas. So I got to meet one of Satan's helpers. And he stood out like a sore thumb. He stuck out like a sore thumb. He had these two little 3'1" bicep with like freaking M16s next to him. And it was just like, who the hell is that? And then we're driving, trying to park the car to go to the beach in Cabo San Lucas. And sure enough, it was Kobe Bryant. So he's retiring. And pretty much I'm starting to sound like Don Imus here, just talking about nothing but sports. You know, that's what I was doing when I was in Florida. Right?
What the fuck is that?
We were whistling here, folks. We were whistling at me inside my studio.
I don't know how that shit came up.
Like I said, when I was doing my Don Imus voice, that's what I was doing in Florida. Well, I watched Kobe retire, and I watched Manny Pacquiao retire.
That's right.
He retired because he was making fun of too many baclaos. I think he's trying to run for president now, but that was a good fight. And I pretty much just caught those all beachside, right? I was working on my tan. Don't I have a great tan right now?
The sun really does you well, Bruce. It just flocks to you.
Now I was swimming like a freaking tiger shark, right? In deep waters,
Amazing.
You know, all over the place. Doing the backstroke, doing the breaststroke, doing the...
More like the alligator, but...
The alligator stroke.
But you were
No, I was wrestling freaking alligators in the Everglades. I mean, I was just doing it all in Florida, folks. It was fun out there.
No, you did well.
Got a lot of sports out there, though. A lot of sport. All right, I'm floppy with my pillow. But, look, getting serious, folks, the title of this show is New World Order in Panic Mode. That's exactly it. I mean, they're ripping their eyeballs right out of their sockets. I mean, the elite, folks, it's that story that I'm going to transition into. The elite are actually buying bomb-proof luxury survival bunkers. That's right. And I know a lot of you are like, oh, we've heard of the elite buying underground bunkers, or they got bunkers. You're at military-industrial complex bunkers like in Cheyenne Mountains or whatever in Colorado. But something tells me that they're really gearing up for the civil unrest that's going on. I mean, they're engineering it. They've been doing it since the Rex 84 days, the Iran-Contra days. I mean, they're the ones that introduced crack cocaine into Los Angeles. And now there's another story out there that they're introducing a drug that is 200 times more addictive than heroin into Chicago. And many elites are actually leaving Chicago. And I think some of them are buying these luxury-proof bunkers.
Well, in Chicago or outside of Chicago?
Outside of Chicago.
Yeah.
Well, they want to leave. They want to get the hell out of Chicago. I mean, the Cubs stink. They don't win anything. They're worse than the Mets.
Yeah, well, you remember what happened when you got into an accident. They gave you Norco, and that was like not even the right drug.
And you know what? I'm glad you went to Norco because they are literally trying to create a zombie apocalypse. The New World Order is, and it's crazy because I saw this French choir dancing out of Africa. This video, and it's these Africans just moving their heads back and forth like they're possessed or they're at like a Slipknot concert. Okay, and I mean this is fact. I mean, all you have to do is give these guys bath salts, and they'll start ripping each other apart like in a Resident Evil video game.
Mm-hmm. There are some people that are brought to that type of humanity.
And that's what I'm thinking. I mean, you see it in Haiti, how there's actually some type of zombie, just underground. There's actually real zombies, folks. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing. Just do the research yourself. But I'm thinking that the military designed these drugs or these type of diseases, bio-warfare diseases in places like Plum Island. I mean, the Nazis are infamous for that.
Yeah,
they brought that over here at the Fourth Reich.
Okay, but specifically the Haitians, they use either like a blowfish, like a type of a fish, or a type of a plant. It's actually, they come from a plant.
Some type of spider as well.
No, it's a plant. Yeah, there's different things.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it gets creepy. It gets really creepy.
But folks. I think specifically with the voodoo, with the zombies, and that was used with slave owners or people that owed money. That was what they did. They grabbed the person's life, and they would kind of kill them, make it look like they were dead, but it would slow the breathing down. It's like a Bella something. I can't remember the name, but you can look it up. They kind of hide it. They don't want people to know about this.
And that's exactly what the elites are worried about. They're worried about the zombie apocalypse, possibly.
So what they do is that they pretend they kill the person, they bury them, but then as the bad guy, right? So the bad guy gets their body. They open up the casket. They pull them out, and then their brain is usually dead a little bit, but not always. Because some people,
in Haiti, right?
In Haiti, and this has been going on forever, like hundreds of years, and at least 125 years. And there's many stories of people, former zombies, or people that were able to overcome the brain damage.
I mean, they're walking right out of the cemetery, just popping right out of graves.
Well, they themselves are usually, they're helped out, they're pulled out, and they could then entrapped and enslaved even more into human labor camps.
So this is seriously worse than any George A. Romero movie that you could possibly think of.
Yeah, but it's really true, and it's a zombification. It's not like, ooh, zombies, but it is a zombification of their brain. It is like a slight, when the brain is deprived of oxygen, it loses its function, its ability to think, and they could become in part brain dead. So that's where the zombies come from, and they're like retarded, and then they're
right, like they got autism or something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, something.
No, but you know what? Most of this has been revealed via predictive programming. Like I mentioned earlier, if you play the video game series Resident Evil, they go to Africa there in Resident Evil 5, and again, the logo for Resident Evil, one of the corporations is responsible, these Nazi corporations that's to the bio-warfare and all that. Their logo is the Knights Templar logo. I mean, plain as day, it's all in the predictive programming, folks. And Resident Evil was predicting the Ebola crisis and the Zika crisis and this type of zombie apocalypse happening in Africa. Again, the epicenter of where they're saying the Ebola crisis started in. They predicted that in Resident Evil 5 in 2011. And they tell you who is the mastermind behind it all. In Resident Evil 4 out of Spain, they mentioned the Illuminados. Again, who do the Illuminados represent? They are the Jesuits of today, but in the 14th and 15th century, they were known as the Alumbrados. And that is the sect, along with the Bavarian Illuminati, that pretty much constitutes this shadow government. Truly is.
Wow, Bruce. You're so informed.
And I'm telling you, now, what would have happened if they closed down the supermarkets? Okay, once the elites are in their luxury bunkers, what would have happened? I mean, the supermarkets are going to be closed. I say if they're closed for over a week, the people start eating each other. I mean, while the elite freaking eat lobster and watch movies on their freaking big screen TVs and movie theaters inside their luxury bunkers that are made by a company called Vivos. Vivos, building luxury survival bunkers, 4- and 5-star underground bunkers for the elites. I mean, they're pretty much preparing. I mean, the elites are the biggest preppers, folks. I mean, they're pretty much preparing for their own engineered collapse. Their own engineered collapse of society. Just like the Jesuits say, they say the end justifies the means. Well, looks like they're going to go out in luxury, folks.
I don't know, Bruce. I think they're paranoid and they're just like insane just as much as the patriots are insane. So, I don't know. I think they're all extremists. I think they just...
But they're the ones running all these bio-warfare, biochemicals, just... I mean, who knows?
Maybe not. Maybe
Easily
the ones that got
engineer
sucker punched.
a zombie apocalypse. Now, one of the biggest facilities from these luxury underground bunkers, folks, is called Europa 1. And guess where it's located? It's located in Germany, yeah, of course, most of the Nazis. It's one of the most fortified, massive underground survival shelters on Earth. That's right, in my Nazi voice, folks. Anyway, millionaires, like I mentioned, millionaires are fleeing Chicago. They're fleeing major cities due to concerns over racial tensions. Again, racial tensions is just a psyop. They have this criminal, this scumbag, basically posing with a gun, all tatted up, tattoos on his head, on his face. He points a gun at a cop. They shoot him, and now they turn him into another martyr for this Black Lives Matter movement. Somebody should really tell them that all lives matter. I mean, they're really unintelligent, loud, pathetic scum that gets bailed out by George Soros and Jay-Z. That's another thing. That's why I don't miss being back in Brooklyn. Because you got the Black Lives Matter scum and all the palace idiots who Bernie Sanders said we should treat them with dignity. All those freaking goat eyeball eaters. And I bet they're real happy when they heard that the Pope said that the Bible is the same as the Holy Quran. He said it again. He said there's no difference between their religion. I mean, I miss Miami Beach every day that we're gone, man. And we're back here in this fucking radiated mudhole, man.
Yeah. I understand, Bruce. It's a crazy place.
And that's what the Pope said. Look, I have the article right here. Pope Francis at the White House. Quran and Holy Bible are the same. You gotta be fucking kidding me.
You've been saying that, it's true. I mean, Brooklyn has its place, but I don't have a feeling for it anymore. I mean, this place is slowly and surely. What was all these? Every time you turn around, there's like something on the TV about the subliminal that there's ooze. People are getting killed. The Ninja Turtles is killing is killing New York. Is on the Sublime,
Well, they're not really killing anybody. They're the ones that are being radiated. They're the victims too.
Gotham.
They're telling you about the slime.
Gotham.
Or they got a
Indian Hill.
A radioactive plant called Indian Hill.
It's killing people. You know what I'm saying? This shit's like out there. It's straight up in the system. So I don't even know where to go. I said that New York's the worst toxic leak ever. Worse than like 3 Mile Island or other things that they've had.
Well, now you know when you start hearing that the elite from New York are buying these luxury Vivos, luxury bunkers, you know that it's going down. But as of right now, I was speaking of Chicago. There's a mass exodus of millionaires fleeing Chicago, and about 3,000 individuals with net assets of 1 million or more that are apparently buying these Europa One style luxury bunkers. And in Paris and in Rome, they're also seeing a mass exodus of millionaires, while wealthy elites are also basically hitting the panic button. And it says here that they're buying most of these luxury bunkers, basically moving to places like New Zealand, because New Zealand's really popular with the global elite right now.
That's not a bad place to live, New Zealand. It's quite beautiful. I mean, maybe you can look at the property there. I don't know what it's like. I mean, it's still a first world country to move there. It's kind of difficult. Like, you wouldn't want to live in Paris right now because it's gotten really hectic. I mean, they just let all the whole Middle East is just trampling all over Europe. It's kind of like Montezuma's. It's like Holocaust revenge. You know, it's like it's a revenge of get rid of all the Jews. You get a bunch of freaking Arabs. You know what I'm saying? Who would make the land a lot more, cultured? But whatever, they love their Arabs, so let them have it.
Well, that's the thing. Every time that the Israelis give concrete for the Palestinians to build anything, they build tunnels, and now they're collapsing onto these idiots, these palace idiots that Bernie wants me to treat with more dignity, while they're receiving M-pads from Hillary, who he's basically going to lay down to. I mean, it's all rigged. It's not a freaking octagon fight. It's more like a Power Rangers little kid fight between Hillary and Bernie.
At the end of the day,
stupid. It's moronical.
Knowledge is power. Okay, Foucault said knowledge is power. And a lot of people said that. And the thing is that when the Arabs, and not just the Arabs, but the Palestinians specifically, when they start taking their own lives seriously, their own children's lives with respect, and educate them and teach them the law and the law of the real law of love and life and their Lord, whatever it is, because I'm sure the Quran, I mean, maybe they could read whatever they want into it, but...
No, the Quran is basically the same as the Jesuit oath.
Right.
It's nothing but kill, kill, kill. Mm. There's more kill 'em all in the Quran than in a Metallica album.
It's just amazing. They just stick somebody in a high turban, and they look like a big Ayman. They come out of nowhere, I'm sure, in these villages. They just come with a little bit more being well-read in Arabic, and then they're able to cattle the sheep, shepherd them, and round them all up and teach them bullshit, because I just know that a lot of them are totally illiterate, and that is the problem. I mean, when you start seeing the Palestinians themselves take care of their own families and their lives and their brothers instead of trying to stab everybody in the back, then they will themselves...
They are just hypnotized and just totally idiotized by Third Reich propaganda.
Yeah.
No more and no less. And all the idiotic truthers in alternative media that are just crying for the Palestinians.
They're laughing at you.
Who you don't even know who's who. Is ISIS Hamas? Is Hamas Hamas? Is Hezbollah Hamas? Is ISIS Hezbollah? I mean, they're all the same. They're all under the Jesuits. And that's why you see the Pope kissing Abbas's defanged freaking face.
And Abbas is so dumb.
He's an idiot.
That guy looks like a camel
should be
herder.
Imbecile of the year.
He looks like he should just walk around with his fucking camel and his little kefir. Is that what they call it? The little scarves and shit. That's what exactly that nigga looks just like that. He doesn't look like he has a big ass brain in that head at all.
It looks like a Stegosaurus would have more of a brain than Mahmoud Abbas.
Just a complete idiot. But God forbid they find somebody that really went to school and can speak 6 languages and could do what Netanyahu does, and handle the country in a.
Well, I can't tell the difference between that guy and somebody from America, some fast-talking American. That's what makes me think that he's some type of reptilian as well.
Yeah, I think he could be. But the Israelis, they love him, I mean, I guess he's somewhat of a warm, endearing guy, I mean,
he's pretty right-wing. He's like the Michael Savage of Israel.
Yeah, he's pretty hardcore. He's very sarcastic, I know when he was saying that, this is a bomb, he wasn't calling everybody, he was really making fun of people.
Well, speaking of Nazis, because he's definitely probably some Mischling or some Lebensborn. Look that up, folks. Yeah. Google that up. Okay,
Rosenberg.
I am going to my new segment titled "The Lebens Minute." Okay, Nazi news in under a minute. Now, I got some stories for you, folks. News flash, just right off the press here. Princeton high school students pictured playing Jews versus Nazis beer pong.
Oh,
it's on ABC 7 New York. Police are investigating a photo posted on social media that showed students from a New Jersey high school playing Jews versus Nazis. I got to look at that, and it was pretty funny. They had like the red Solo cups, like a swastika, and then the other table had them like a Star of Jesuit David.
Oh, wow. That is crazy. What's up with this Japanese?
Well, remember, what did I just say? I'm at my Lebens minute, Nazi news in under a minute. So here's the next story. Must a Jewish baker make a Nazi cake? Now, a Jewish baker is being told to sacrifice his principle for the sake of marginalized groups, short-sighted marginalized groups. I mean, they're trying to make some baker bake a Nazi cake with a swastika on it. Do you think he should do it? Or should he just show him the big middle finger and just tell him to go stick it where the sun don't shine?
Well, he can't sell on eBay with a picture of a Nazi swastika unless it's actually...
But that's a Buddhist symbol.
Yeah. They won't, unless it's actually ancient, pre-World War II, they won't allow it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess you should have luck. Anyway, folks, royals told open archives on family ties to Nazi regime. That's right, Her Royal Highness is being told to open up the books. Again, you saw that news flash a while back when she was hiling, and she said, she was just calling her dog or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, historian urges that secret correspondence be made public to reveal the truth after the Queen's Nazi salute footage was revealed. That's on The Guardian. So she's pretty much exposed. Her Highness, her reptilian Highness, who is pretty much, if she's going to get married, she needs the Pope to do it, and if Hillary Clinton is going to be president, she needs to okay it herself, the Queen, her Highness. Anyway, we're about done with the Nazi minute, Lebens minute. We have a giant swastika was spotted in the desert near Area 51's UFO crash site. It's just a bunch of Nazi psyopers, army psyopers having fun out there, right?
Yeah.
Because crop circles and everything is just like a bunch of just hooey.
Yeah, crop circles, I basically figured out that it was, they use some kind of a Google satellite, and they do a projection when they do some kind of heat, and they sprinkle some kind of a chemical like barium aluminum oxide right onto the crops or something. And
the same stuff they use in chemtrails.
Something like that.
Geoengineering.
Right, and they can heat it up a little bit. So they have a patent. It probably is more like a fire retardant, and they do a negative of it. So if you see it, it's like if you see the designs, the motifs themselves, they're very cut out. Like, as if they told you to make, back in like a silk screening class, to come up with a black and white, a very simple black and white design that it could be reversed, like a zigzag pattern, and it could be, doesn't matter which way it is. So it looks like it's just cut out like a silk screen and projected through it. Because I'm like an art expert, right? So in terms of process, being the fact that they can get their cameras up so high, and the fact that they do have a patent for fire retardant, I would think that it wouldn't be too far of a cry, because they have the Google cameras. So they bring their satellites up, they put their little fucking little silk screen or whatever template they use cut out, and they just project it. And because it's a heat, they use some kind of heat thing. It'll heat up the crops. It'll singe it, which is what happens to it. And then the singeing itself will add to a different level, and you'll come up with a motif, whatever it is.
Again, you're talking about how they can create crop circles.
Yeah, that's how they do it.
And who is creating them?
I don't know, people
the
that
military
pay for
industrial
it.
complex, the military, the guys that are ONI, Office of Naval Intelligence.
The guys
they
that
know
owns
who's doing
those
that.
motherfucking crops. You know
Raytheon, North Ruppman, or whatever, all these, the Rand Corporation, all those companies. They know who's doing it.
Yup, Syngenta, everybody that wants to have fun, and they did it for shits and giggles, and they throw it out there, and they get their great photographers and their conspiracy writers, and they create hoaxes left and right. They love that. That's like a super great hoax from
all right, it's just like
ONI.
Bigfoot, when really it's just your granny took off her sock, and that's her Bigfoot, man. Anyway, that's what it is. It's just the hoax that keeps on giving, folks. But let's go to this next story, very pressing story out of Japan. In Mashiki, Japan, 800 were injured after a strong quake. 6.5 toppled houses, buildings. They're reporting at least 9 killed and 800 injured. I mean, you said that they can create these crop circles. Now, I know they can control the weather. Mm-hmm. They've predicted that in video games like Star Fox as well. 1991, right when the Russians were done with HARP, as the Americans were starting to patent it.
Well, we were talking about Haiti before, and,
right, so,
and their earthquake.
So, Japan, again, the big quake that caused a tsunami in Fukushima, now it's being reported that there's more of a release of the radioactive water is leaking. Just more radioactive water is leaking into the sea, into Fukushima. So you have leaks all over the world. I mean, they're basically, the New World Order is just taking a big dump all over the planet right now. I mean, from Indian Point here in New York to Japan and Fukushima. Could this just be just like an aftershock by the New World Order? I mean, following Fukushima, I mean, now they're just trying to just really put the nail in the coffin of Japan.
Yeah, or it could be just Kim Jong-un gone wild.
Kim Jong-un gone wild, and I'm glad that you're saying that, because in the news they keep mentioning that he's testing missiles and that he's got intercontinental ballistic missiles, and all of a sudden, China's enemy is hit.
It's not China's enemy. It's China's little bad boy that they watch, and is supposed to watch how he behaves.
Well,
they don't give a fuck.
They've been sworn enemies, Japan and China, and
yes.
North Korea is used as like the ISIS of that region. Right. And I'm thinking that North Korea has something to do with this, either by intercontinental ballistic missile, how they set off this earthquake, or who knows, maybe a silent weapon for a silent war. They could have used HARP.
Okay, and you know who's running, and we already don't want to confuse anybody because we still think that the CIA could be already infiltrated and co-opting the North Korea as a bad boy. So in essence, we ourselves, it could be like Pearl Harbor Part 2, or Hiroshima Part 2.
Well, if Kim Jong-un is not a clone and he's really Kim Jong-un, he's still taking orders from the CIA.
Exactly. So no matter what, regardless, we have something to do with this earthquake hitting our supposed ally that we've always attacked, but more like, with Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they've always been the victim. So
right.
And that's the thing, you're going to talk about the victims of earthquakes. They become, in economic and financing, they like to keep a specific region lower than everyone else. And in the case of Japan, I don't know why, but for some reason that culture has been getting the shit kicked out of them left and right for the past 170 years. It's been disgusting, and I don't know. In the same way where the Icelandic people had their famous volcanoes being used as nuclear waste dumps, harping them. I don't understand the same exact reason why Haiti was hit by an intercontinental ballistic missile with their tectonic plates, which caused their earthquake. And I understand that the reason why they keep Haiti down is to just, that's just like a Western thing, is that in terms of finances, it was told to me that some country always has to be on the low man on the totem pole. And it's just how it is. I mean, I'm not saying right or wrong, it's disgusting, but that's what it was explained. That's how people get leverage. That's why, like, Switzerland might be toward the top, but Haiti's at the bottom of the Western world. So sometimes they need to make the bottom out. Make the bottom worse if things aren't high enough at the top. I don't know how those things work on like a real, on the darkest levels, but it's something to that extent. It was told to me that so these people they're victims and they always keep getting hit.
Wow. Absolutely right. And that leads me to another story. We were talking about China and how they're spreading. I mean, they're becoming total fascists. They're becoming totalitarians. With either the help of North Korea, they're hiring North Korea to do their little dirty work, or they have spies infiltrating the U.S. Navy. How there's the story of a U.S. Navy officer that's charged with spying for China. So now China has moles inside the U.S. Navy. I mean, either that could be a psyop, or just to see how the public reacts to Chinese espionage. I mean, it's happening. I mean, that's part of why Hillary Clinton should be thrown in jail, because she left her server open to being hacked by Chinese spies.
You know that the Bank of Singapore is basically attached to the Federal Reserve. I don't know what a Chinese spy is. Please, Bruce, explain to me. I thought they were working together. It makes no difference. So all somebody has to do is make a little trip down to the Federal Reserve in New York and see the Bank of Singapore attached in the same building as the Federal Reserve, and you will understand that they are one of the same
you're going to
thing.
understand who runs the Federal Reserve. That China does.
Right.
Okay, because every time you print one of these debt dollars, one of these debt notes, at least 80 cents goes to China. Okay? Bernie Sanders doesn't care about you, Occupy Wall Street, or you freaking socialists who thinks you're going to get your school paid for free. Okay? You're not. Okay, you bum. You don't understand that it's the unseen hand, basically. Governments amount to $0, so they have to borrow from the banks. It's very rudimentary. Okay, you stupid idiots. If you don't understand the shadow government, I am exposing it right here, right now, on the Bruce Montalvo Show. Bernie Sanders is no freaking freedom fighter. Oh, let's fight Verizon. Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, Verizon spies on you with the NSA. Right. We're getting calls. We're getting calls on air. Whoever's calling is a son of a bitch. That's right. I called you a son of a bitch on my program. You have an obnoxious radio tone.
It sounds good though, right?
Ringtone.
I think it sounds good. I don't know why the phone was not off.
Anyway, let's move on to this next story here. This is an oldie but goodie, but I had to cover it. 9/11 reports show Saudi officials met with hijackers in Los Angeles. Of course, Bush got the cliff notes that these guys were going to strip clubs and putting dollar bills in between the strippers, big thingies and all that stuff. So this is already old news. Of course we know the Saudi Arabians did it. I mean, in every single picture you see the Bushes either making out with Saudi Arabian princes or holding hands, skipping. Okay, so we know there's a Saudi connection.
Do you think that former President Bush ate some goat eyeballs to kind of make friends?
Oh, buddy, if he did not eat goat eyeballs, we would have cut his tongue off.
How do you think he took that? Fried goat eyeballs or...
I don't know. I'm not a freaking heathen or an Amalek, so I don't eat goat eyeballs like those palace idiots.
Yeah.
And the rest of their brethren, their freaking Quran-loving brethren. The Quran kind of would look good in my bathroom as toilet paper. I think. Really, because all it is a Jesuit oath.
Yes.
In a bunch of Arabic freaking Scrabble. That's really what it is. See, when I want my truth, folks, I go to the Old Testament, folks. El Torah. That's right. That's right. And I don't care what you think or what you say. You want to change the dial because El Gran Montalvo is getting El Gran Espiritual, then, go F yourself. But that's where I come from. I don't believe in no freaking Masonic blue-eyed deities named Jesus who sells oranges off the 91 freeway, who was formerly known as the artist named Mithra. Okay, and then you have all these little freaking Indian women that call the cops on you because they're in love with Shiva or the Virgen de Guadalupe or all these just
deities.
Religious zealots that you find in Catholicism and in Mormonism. Basically, all these Illuminatis run all these religions, even Judaism, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I find it to be the one true religion out of all the three monotheistic religions.
I think it's the first religion that had a lot of fucking laws. I mean,
that's right, and how to love your family member, how to teach good morals,
fellow men in the community. But also, but a lot of idiots don't understand is that they think that a law that was written 2,000 years ago is still in place. In fact,
but those guys are occultists. The guys that are slapping themselves with chickens. I mean, those aren't real practicing Jews.
No, exactly. They're not real Jewish people. I don't even know what that is. That's weird. I think those must be CIA agents.
Illuminati.
They could be the same kind of people that were recently brainwashed that they took the imams, they grabbed the Arab people that were stupid. Well, there's a lot of stupid Jews also. They inbreed, and they did that to keep themselves down. I don't know how and why they got so proliferated with the Hasidic communities. Not all of them, like the Chabad and Lubavitch is pretty nice people. They're normal people. But a lot of those Hasidic people, you'll see buses after buses with their kids, and a lot of them are retarded. And they're breeding them, and they're doing weird things with those kids. They're sticking them on the settlements. They're using those people.
That's all that chicken slapping actually went right to their heads, folks.
Yeah, they
and here's the thing. The Catholic Church, the Mormon Church, the Democrats, the Republicans, all you idiots that believe that the GOP is gonna save America, you better bite the bullet, because the new slogan for Ted Cruz should be "Cancer for Cruz," or the new slogan for Donald Trump should be "Take a dump on Trump," because these people are gonna lead us to our destruction, folks. I mean, look at the America of today. Look at America 2016. Look at our food. We have GMO crap Donalds. You're drinking nuclear piss from Indian Point.
Taking showers with it.
Your kids are listening to a whore that was raped by her father in Bohemian Grove, Miley Cyrus. Okay? And your leader is... You think your leader is going to be Donald Trump, and you think that Kanye West is a genius. I mean, this is the America of today.
Well, Kanye thinks he's a genius, so why shouldn't anybody else? The confidence is everything, right?
Just because you could rhyme paparazzi and Nazi doesn't make you a genius.
That's my rhyme.
Okay, it's
and
your
Yahtzee,
rhyme.
You know what I'm saying? It was in my first album.
Anyway,
2001.
Anyway, Donald Trump is a frog-faced piece of trash, orange cock stain. Okay, how's that? You like that? That's what he is.
Yeah, whatever.
That's what he is, folks.
All these people are just characters. They might as well just have like Family Guy episodes about them and Saturday Night Live episodes. They're just figures to look at, characters. They're no more real to me than Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz.
And I'm just so disgusted that we have to come back home to these depraved demagogues and Democrats that are just roaming around here in our backyard. I mean, Sanders was at Washington Square, sounding like a freaking Sesame Street character.
You know what? I don't care how he sounds, Bruce. He does whatever he does. It's the people. How stupido they are.
Yeah, he's honeypotting a bunch of stupid, idiot, Occupy commies.
It's funny. It's amazing.
That don't even understand the hidden hand of government.
They have no idea what it is, so they get what they deserve. I don't care. I'm a little voice in the big world. Obviously, they love that shit. The Occupy Wall Street people, they're like all up in the government. So I don't know why people are so behind Bernie. I mean, I wouldn't particularly, I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I mean, if he was president, okay, whatever. But really, is this the man that you want representing the country? Do you hear how this nigga talks? It's like having me president, except I use the word nigga every second. But this nigga, can't fucking even, he sounds so low. Like, I know how to speak properly. And if I had to speak in front of a lot of people, believe me, I would have very little accent. I would have cleaned it up, like, fucking around my accent like Hillary Clinton changed her accent in every town. I would do the same fucking thing, But Bernie, I mean, how can he represent the entire country? He sounds like a slobbery freaking idiot eating pickles and stuff and hot dogs.
Like I said, he sounds like a stupid-ass Sesame Street character, and that's what it is. It's all these combined that are trying to just pressure America into letting in more of these Syrian refugees. They're all working together. The Mormon Church, the Catholic Church, the Democrats, the Republicans. That's what they want. They want to bring in an influx of just... I'm not saying that I'm a xenophobe or that, America isn't made great by immigrants immigrating here as a result of the Industrial Revolution.
I think we should have more Mexicans. I think we should have more Mexicans, but make them all speak English.
But that's the thing. These Syrians out there, you don't know if the CIA itself is radicalizing them, because it isn't radical Islam. It's radical CIA Islam. So how many of those guys that they're training like rabid pit bull dogs, chained to they have like a tire, 3 tires chained to them, and they just like, they give them a piece of meat and they let them like gnaw on it. You know what I mean? They're training these like vicious freaking Jesuit Holy Koran warriors. And the Democrats, the Mormons, the Catholic Church, they're all going to let these guys just come in here. Meanwhile, Hillary and the Degenerate Party wants to put a transgender bathroom and take your gun at the same time. I mean, this is going to be a crime-ridden third world cesspit. That's what America's going to be if the degenerates in the depraved demagogue Democrat Party have their way.
Yeah. I don't understand the bathrooms. I think these artists are fucking stupid for standing up for such idiocracy. I think people, if you want to be a woman and you want to walk into a woman's room, you feel comfortable, then just walk into the fucking woman's room. And you don't want to be a man and you want to walk, if you feel like you're a man, you walk into the men's room. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know in New York, a lot of people are a lot of flip-floppers. And I just think it's, if that's who you are, then just walk in there. If you're a fuck up, then you get your ass kicked and just shut the, and you deserve it. But I don't think that they should open up a third bathroom. I think it's going to attract, like I said, a sleaze element toward everything. And I don't think that...
So you don't want transgender bathrooms and you don't want Syrian refugees either that are trained by radical CIA Islam.
Well, what you said before about the train this, they could very well be getting extra money to like pop certain pills.
They were trained at the same place that the Saudi freaking 9/11 hijackers were trained at.
Remember back in Canada?
Basically, they're trained by the U.S. military-industrial complex.
Remember they had the G4 in Canada and they had footage of these the guards with the black uniforms. They lifted, all of them in symphony, they lifted up their helmets and they popped a freaking pill and they put their shit down. It was like mad weird. And then they started like attacking the human people and the people and the population. It was just like insane. And they became this violent, organized, like just this line of robotic, just evil. And I think that if I was a Syrian, poor, and a government said, okay, we're going to hire you and we're going to give you $18 a day and then just sign your life here, put your, dotted line, you take this pill here, you do this here, you eat this, okay?
Yeah, you get this RFID chip here,
right?
And we track you here, and then when we're going to set you up to be a patsy here, your brain blows up and nobody ever hears from you again, and then we blast your face on CINN all day.
Very well. It very well could be the truth, you know. I mean, these people, when desperate, if they're willing to put a bomb on themselves and go and blow up a market, they're willing to do anything. So some of these people are so fucking desperate. Their humanity that has been brought down to the perils of sand and dirt and mud, places where your spirit and soul should never have gone, but they have gone there, and some have risen and become great people and rejected it. But some just need survival, and that's when these military operatives come in and use them as human weapons. They're human weapons, and however they take them, whether it's to learn how to use be on the man force as a spy, taking chips, being a guinea pig experiment. Who the fuck knows? You don't know what is up with them. So I'd rather have a shitload of Mexicans come in here, just like, blah, 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 and then like, instead of like, la, 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 you know, like, yeah.
Yeah, at least we have good food.
Yeah.
At least we have good food.
Right? I don't know what to make of anything.
Look, I think America already has enough Mexicans, and they need to take their own country back.
Yeah.
Because groups like the ACLU and all these other groups, they're actually shilling for the Mexican oligarchs and the elites of the world by repatriating their revolution, you know, exporting their revolution to other countries to prevent an uprising. That's where I get back to these elites buying up these luxury bunkers, these Vivos luxury bunkers, because they fear the civil unrest.
They don't feel the civil unrest.
They fear the civil unrest that they themselves are creating.
Yeah, but they have a lot of islands. They live in a lot of places all over the world. They just get on their jet and they just go wherever the fuck they want. That just might be a weird, like, quirky vacation home for them, you know, just in case. I don't know. There's always a crackpot like Alex Jones, you know. I mean, this guy's like 1 foot away.
Well, you don't want to mention mental patients on the greatest program on earth, because he had some of his info whores out here in my backyard, and notice how they didn't come around Brooklyn, because if they would have, well, at least by where I'm at, right, by Barclays, if they would have walked right by Barclays, I would have freaking DDT'd their candy ass right onto the Brooklyn freaking streets.
Right.
I don't like the info whores. They're a bunch of COINTELPRO. Look that up, folks. That's what the info whores are. They're COINTELPRO.
Right. They've been pushing that, and he had his friends on, and he's probably invested in it because he's a crackpot.
Yes, that mental institution patient that unfortunately has a talk show.
He's a host. I'm sure he's got some hosts too.
He's a talk show host out of Austin, Texas. That man, that mental patient that should be in a mental ward, he's invested into these Vivos bunkers because he was Charlie Sheen's hoe. So he was licking Charlie Sheen's elliptical and sniffing his gym shorts enough that, you know, Charlie kicked him down some money and he was able to buy this bunker for himself, this maniac. Anyway, folks, it's time for my super special, very wonderful, I didn't steal from David Letterman top 10 list from my home offices in Brooklyn, New York. Might as well be Butt, Montana, because all these Democrats all over the place, folks. Really stinks like a butt when all these people are around. Now, number 10. Bernie Sanders discusses Gaza Strip at Democratic debate. This is what he said. We must treat the Palestinian people with dignity. Let me reiterate what Bernie was saying. We must treat the Palestinians like goat eyeball eaters. That's what he should have said. That's what he should have said. Now, number 9. Trump campaign blasts Mark Zuckerberg, Facial Face, Mark Tubalcain from Facebook, for open borders. CEO lives behind private security walls. So, Mark Facialberg is dissing Donald Trump about wanting to build a wall, right? Meanwhile, he lives behind big, big walls. Hypocrite. Hypocrite piece of crap who censors people who speak out against freaking Arabs who can't box, like Amir Khan, who's going to get knocked out by cinnamon. And, he censored the hashtag Stop Islam. I mean, and he's also trying to censor Trump on Facebook.
Oh, wow, Bruce. Look how high we are on TalkStream Live. I just want to give a big shout out to TalkStream Live.
Big shout out to TalkStream Live. Big shout out to all our listeners. To go to TalkStream Live every Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern. The best in streaming talk radio. The Bruce Montalvo Show. It's easy to listen to anywhere when you're on the go, on your iPad, on your iPhone, on your Android phone. Just Google up TalkStreamLive.com and type in the Bruce Montalvo Show Fridays live, 9 p.m.
to
Eastern.
11. Once a week, guys. So, you can catch us on the rerun if you go to our Spreaker, and then you can catch up on all the Bruce Montalvo shows.
There's the archives. You catch on the archives. Anyway, what do you think of Faisalberg living behind bigger walls than the wall that Trump wants to build from Pink Floyd, The Wall?
Well, I mean, it's just a joke. I mean, Mark has got a hypothetical wall around him at any given time, being a duke. Is that what he is? He's a duke or the child.
I don't know what he is, but he's got big walls behind his house.
Exactly. He's definitely monarchy, and that's it.
All of them are. That's why he's privy to that intel, that CIA intel. Number 8.
Yeah.
You think of this. Judge allows Sandy Hook family to sue Remington Firearms over massacre. I mean, first of all, folks, Adam Lanza died. You check his death certificate. He died a day before that PSYOP. So, Anderson Pooper Scooper, who works for the CIA, didn't he green screen stuff over there? I mean, they knocked the building down. The kids showed up at the stupid bowl. I mean, give me a break. Suing Remington? Really? Really? Judge allows Sandy Hook families to sue Remington over firearms, over massacre. Wow. Wow, that's beyond me, folks. Anyway, number 7. John Kasich links Jesus' blood to Passover at Matzah Bakery.
What? Oh, yeah.
Okay, here it says from Times of Israel, in a cringe-worthy moment, hashtag GOP hopeful John Kasich, the bisexual, says, blood of the lamb above lampposts was Christ as he is known as the Lamb of God. First of all...
Did you have lamb for dinner last night?
First of all, I had lamb for dinner last night, and I like the metal band Lamb of God, but Jesus, Mithra, or Jesus, who sold oranges off the side of the 91 freeway, have nothing to do with Passover. Nothing to do with Passover. Don't you just love these Christian idiots who really are the worst of them all? They're worse than Hitler. I mean, Hitler was a Christian. And don't you just love these idiots, how they keep linking Jesus to all this Passover this and that, when really you don't even know if that guy even existed? I mean, 2,000 years later, they decide to rehash this guy that wasn't blonde-haired, wasn't blue-eyed. If anything, he was like a 4'3" Arab-looking guy.
Okay, but that's what you believe.
With pubic hair on his face.
Okay, but that's what you believe was black. Still, at the end of the day...
Who was probably retarded.
At the end of the day, this guy, this symbol of God, was supposedly Jewish. So that's what people are still taught. So people believe that this man... What I don't understand is how anybody could not like Jews. If Jesus was Jewish himself, how could they not want to be...
Oh, they think that the Jews killed him. I'm telling you, they're retarded. They don't know that Romans killed him in the fairy tale Christmas story. But here's the thing. I just got to get this off my chest. Okay, Christians, in my opinion, are the most evil religion ever. Just like I'm the greatest man to live ever, I'm telling you, Christians are the most evil religion ever to live. I mean, think about it. Hitler was Christian, the Crusades, the Inquisition. Okay, they have the Black Pope. They have the Poop Pope. I mean, they've done it all. They're behind every single psyop and every single army psyop group and every single shadow government branch of the Illuminati.
Wow.
The Christians are, like I said, the most evil freaking religion ever. I mean, you see them up in CERN. They got Shiva right in front of CERN, and they're launching all sorts of esoteric letters out into freaking space, trying to open up portals into other dimensions. I mean, who knows? What are they trying to talk to Marduk? These Jesuits? I don't know. It's beyond me, folks.
I think these people
can't comprehend the level of evil that these people indulge in.
I think these high-level
Bruce
Jesuits are, and these elites are not. They don't really have a religion. I don't believe that they even follow religion. Those people that work in CERN,
right?
You know, those people are not into any religion. They know, like, they have their own freaking ideology.
Oh, they're Masons. That's what they are. They're Masons working for the One World Order, and they probably all have these luxury bunkers from Vivos.
Mm. Some do. Some are just scientists that are...
Anyway, how we got into CERN from John Kasich and this Time of Israel article, I don't know, but we're at number 6. This is a good one, folks. We're just in the Florida area. City of Orlando announces proposal that would decriminalize small amounts of marijuana. I think that's good. A lot of people drive around in fear of having a J out there, thinking that the freaking Miami Vice is going to crank down on them. That's a good thing.
Yeah, I think it's the whole country needs to be decriminalized. I mean, you should check out my song, More Chiba Chiba.
That's the thing about Florida, too. I mean, it's a total CIA hub. There's all these old farts out there that probably work for the CIA, and they don't want kids skateboarding on their sidewalk or smoking weed. That's why weed's been, like, so hated on in that state, just like Texas or Arizona. So it's good to see that they're decriminalizing marijuana little by little in Orlando.
Florida's got some good stuff going on. They have the they don't have to pay state tax, right? There's a few states actually that don't have to pay a state tax. I don't understand. I mean, I do actually understand why, but you have like certain states like Alaska, I think Washington, Delaware. There's a couple of states that you have no income tax. Texas. And that's kind of interesting how certain places got out of it. But then they also have higher, like gas at the pump is like the highest in certain of the states. But California is the highest income tax there is. That when I was looking at, I was looking at all the different states and the taxes and the laws. So they, they have their own ways, but
exactly. Now,
today everybody had to finish up their taxes, so. It's kind of apropos.
Right.
But, it's usually a little bit earlier, but they let it go an extra day till Monday, I think, is the final day. But I don't know. It's such a pain in the neck to do that.
It is. That's why the Queen's bankers should be abolished. Now, number 5, we see a link to the CIA op to the Panama Papers, how indeed they did keep it quiet, because there are some Americans involved. You see, U.S. corporations have 1.4 freaking TN or whatever, 1.4 hidden in tax havens, claims Oxfam report. U.S. corporate giants such as Apple, Walmart, General Electric have stashed over 1.4 trillion. That's trillion. In tax havens, despite receiving trillions of dollars in taxpayer support, according to a report by anti-poverty charity Oxfam. And that's what these leaks are. They're put out there by the CIA. All these major leaks are created by the CIA. You have the WikiLeaks out of 2010. That was CIA. Then you had Ed Snowden in 2013. An NSA agent coming out trying to talk bad about the NSA. I mean, if you see the movie Enemy of the State, you see what happens if you talk bad about the NSA. And now, with this leak, with the Panama Papers, all these elites stashing money, you see they threw out all these other world leaders. Again, they bashed Iceland because Iceland was defiant to the IMF. Of course, they had to put them in check, put some crony of theirs in there to defame. But you see that U.S. corporations have 1.4 trillion hidden in tax haven. I mean, they basically just go to the Cayman Islands and have some monkey do their books for them, right?
Oh, yeah.
Just launder their money.
Absolutely. I'm not into financing. I don't know anything for anything. But yeah, it's very easy for them, especially if you have money, to then just get very clever financiers. Donald Trump himself said that, the reason why he was able to just get out of bankruptcy and flip this, flip that is because he knows so many great lawyers, so many business lawyers. If you're making up the rules, then you can play the game. But if you're just trying to follow the rules, well, they can make up the rules as you're taking those steps. And
that guy's just pretending to be a Republican. He even said it. He said, I could just lie straight to their face, and if I'm on Fox News, they'll believe everything I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, just go exposed news on YouTube and type in the Donald Trump deception, and you'll see the flip-flopping, frog-faced bastard that this orange cockstain Donald Trump truly is. He's just a fascist that if he got into the White House, he would have all of us freaking doing the floors, buffing the floors at Trump plazas.
Yeah, maybe some of his friends like Serena, maybe you, Bruce, maybe he'll give you like a place to stay or something.
Yeah, right. He'll toss me over the wall, folks. Now, here's the thing. Number 4, Robert De Niro denounces medical totalitarians. First of all, he had this film festival and he pulled an anti-vaccine movie, and then now he's running around saying that, oh yeah, he had to pull it, but really he supports it. He wants people to see vaxxed because the dangers of vaccinating your kid and having it become a retard with autism that beats itself are very high if you vaccinate your kid. Right?
I believe that the reason why autism, I was told by a Japanese friend of mine, he explained to me that the high number of autism is derived from it's equivalent to the high amount of usage of uptake inhibitors, such as Zoloft and Prozac and Paxil. I think less Paxil, more Prozac and Zoloft, and especially when these women, they were kind of being guinea pig by taking it. They had the books, Prozac Nations, but people took it for like 8-10 years, and they did not know that their own chromosomes, their own DNA was being altered. So while their whole bodies were being, interior and, their minds, they think they're being, oh, so cool, they don't need to be in love, they don't need to be angry, they just totally numbify you. They were like totally fucking up their weakening. So what actually it works like this, it weakens some parts of your immune system in some way. So when your baby is being born, he's sort of like weaker than he could be, or she, whatever. So with this in mind, when they do is with the vaccines themselves, is that they do sometimes too many rounds and too young. So they know also, believe me, they know when a mother is susceptible and has taken years of vaccines, takes years of Prozac, and they give them the vaccines and they shoot them a little bit, or maybe the baby comes out jaundiced or a little weak, and they know, this is another one, we can get this one, you don't know how they think. Maybe they think like that. It just sounds fucked up, but. Bruce, I heard today from somebody who was explaining to me about, and this is kind of like, I guess Hillary's people will like it, and actually a man told this to me, and he was saying how I was referring to the postman. I was like, yo, that postman. Oh, and he goes, she's not a postman. She's a letter
Oh, so he was a PC fucktard.
Yeah.
He had to be politically correct and correct your speech, like that movie The Giver.
Right, exactly. He was totally correct. My feels. So it's 25 years, John, that they've been doing this, and he said, "It's not a fireman; it's a firefighter. It's not a policeman; it's a police officer. It's not a
Dear God.
yeah, it's not a social, social worker. It's not a social workman. It's not a man. It's totally.
I think people like that, along with sex offenders, should be castrated. Literally.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. I mean, they should just say the postwoman, whatever the fuck you want. The name of your postman, the name of your postwoman, post lady. Just call it whatever you want.
So that's.
What if it's a drag queen?
We're gonna get to that in the top 10 list, folks. Now, again, that was Robert De Niro. You explained why the whole vaccine issue should be taken seriously, but I think he secretly put money into that movie Vax, so that's why now all of a sudden he wants people to see it. So it's kind of like a publicity stunt, I think. But this next article, this next news bulletin is really gonna interest you, Jaja, because it proves that what the esoteric recording artists and CEOs and their engineers behind the Laurel Canyon Studios, Nazi Laurel Canyon Studios, do. Their MO of stealing from other artists and reappropriating their work beforehand. You have Led Zeppelin being taken to copyright court for the song Stairway to Heaven. Of course, everybody knows Stairway to Heaven. Stairway to Heaven plagiarism lawsuit going viral. A judge deemed the similarities trial worthy.
Yeah.
Does that surprise you at all? Knowing the MO of the occult music industry?
The thing is that the judges are part of the show. And when the judges first heard, the first time I tried to see 50, the judge said, yeah, I hear something. And then I left it to the lawyer. He says, I need to get an expert. At the time, I didn't know my ass from my expert. So the one we got was a sucker punch, She actually even admitted she worked for the other side. And she said she couldn't, she asked me what I might have heard, and then she, couldn't really, said she just got herself out of it in a very eloquent way. And it's kind of fucked up. But then later on I got another musicologist, but the whole game is rigged. It's just it's ridiculous. So now it's just like.
So you see it playing out here, how this judge is telling the band Trauma, who released a song before Led Zeppelin. And in fact, I figured out that this band used to tour with the Yardbirds, and again, Jimmy Page, the guitarist for Led Zeppelin. They toured with that band that is suing them. So that is where they heard the song. That is where Led Zeppelin got the material from when he was young, before they formed Led Zeppelin, and they were touring. One of the band members was touring with that band. Mm. So there you go. These Jesuits, all they do is steal and reappropriate.
And infiltrate, and they get really close
They're
to you.
just with it, aren't they? Yeah. They're just with it. They think it's cool. They think it's hip. They think it's cool that Justin Bieber encrusted his hair with like freaking horse semen, and now he thinks he's got a cool hairdo. Okay, they think that's hip, right?
Right. But that's what they do, is that those people themselves, the band that might be suing them, they could be Jewish, and they themselves could have been guinea pigged and then just teased, throw them a bone here, throw them a bone, get them excited, get them inspired to make new music, but just always keep them low, and always have a Jesuit around them to be their friend, to ask them what they're doing new, and never bring them up high. And they have their ways, and it's like a system of keeping people down and always being able to...
Well, that's what they practice, exactly what Led Zeppelin talks about in their songs, this type of witchcraft. They actually practice this type of calderic magic in Hollywood. I mean, the CEOs, the producers, they're all praising the 72 demons of Hollywood And I wouldn't be surprised if Satan himself had a bungalow out in Los Angeles. I'm telling you, you would have made it even bigger if you would have started off reciting your rap lyrics, but like if you recite them backwards, it's all sorts of like Satan, blah, 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 Satanus, blah, blah, blah. I'm telling you, you would have been like at the top of the pops if you would have if your lyrics backwards would have been all sorts of Satan incantations.
And then 3 years later, I ended up like Kesha screaming, "They raped me! They raped me!" You know.
Oh my God.
I feel bad for her. I'm sure she was raped.
What do they make these people do? I mean, I heard that
I don't know.
that retard Mark Dice is now going after Lady Gaga, saying that she endorses like pedos or whatever that attack young women.
He's a fucking liar, and he probably loves her. So I don't believe
and the guy
a word
can't
that
stop
he
talking
says.
about her.
Right,
The supposed
don't believe a
media
word Mark Dice
analyst.
says.
Yeah, Mark Shill Dice.
He's full of shit. Whatever. He probably listens to her when he wakes up. I don't believe him.
That guy's like George Bangladesh Lopez says. That guy, Mark Dice, is mas puto. Mas puto, folks. Now, number 2, MMA fighter dies after knockout. A 28-year-old MMA fighter was knocked out, 3rd round. I mean, it probably wasn't even some real sanctioned UFC fight. I think that the PC libtards rigged this fight, and the guy probably faked his death because they're upset that MMA is coming to New York City, and the Guinea Jesuits that have a hold on the city via boxing don't want MMA to come here, so they needed to have some bad press. Oh, an MMA fighter gets killed. Oh, Bernie is choking out Hillary. Oh, Trump is ground and pounding Cruz. I mean, they try to make it all out to be one big fight, folks.
Right, exactly.
That's what it is. And that's exactly what life is, folks. But unfortunately, you millennials grew up thinking you were special. Okay, there is hope for you, according to Dr. Twenge, who says that there's hope for you. I mean, just look at me. Okay, I'm confident, I'm verbose, I'm braggadocious, I'm everything that you're not. Okay? And at the same time, I'm a millennial. Believe it or not. So there is hope for millennials. But I'm telling you, most of these people just grew up just being given trophies for losing, and they think that the world is just one big happy place.
Yeah,
and
just show
and
up
no,
and
you can't have MMA, you can't have this type of competition because somebody's going to get hurt. I mean, I understand also that the brain is just floating on liquid, and if you engage in extreme combat sports, you could easily get a concussion. I understand that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, these PC just freaking lavender boule Illuminati gay mafiosos, they want to ban all contact sports. They want to get rid of MMA. They want to get rid of boxing. They want to get rid of it all. So they're just blowing this out of proportion. And it's just beyond me, folks. I mean, America has to grow some balls. Reach down and grow some balls all over again.
Yeah. Because
they're trying to castrate us, folks. But speaking of castrating, we flow right into the top 10 list. Number 1, folks, finally, for the top 10 list that I did not steal from David Letterman. Number 1, man transitions to woman. And then to dragon. You can be whoever you want to be, even if that person is a dragon lady. That's right, we're talking about the degenerate party, the depraved party, and how it gets more depraved down the road the more Democrats you vote in. And that's what happens. First, they turn into, they want to be a lady. Then they decide they want to be exactly like Hillary, and they turn into a reptilian dragon lady.
That's awesome.
I mean, look that up. It's on the New York Post. Man transitions to woman and then to dragon.
Well, that's amazing, Bruce, because we just sold a whole bunch of very high design Japanese, actually Japanese and Chinese dragons to one of our clients, and now I'm going to have probably one coming out. There should be about $3,000, but it's from export. Beautiful, beautiful silver. It's just so beautiful. and that's a very antique that we've repurposed. So I have two of them actually. We have a small one with chain that'll be a little bit cheaper, a lot cheaper. But yeah, we have dragons coming out. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, they can find that on Etsy.com. Type in Antique Obsessions. And
so it's Etsy.com/shop/Antique Obsessions.
And at eBay.com/shop/Antique
No,
Obsessions.
no. Forget that. Just deal with Etsy. And then you can go, the other Etsy is Etsy.com/shop Conceptual Subculture.
Okay, that's why you do these shameless commercial plugs, because you can't leave it to the most brilliant broadcaster of all time to shamelessly plug himself when I have to worry about news.
That's right.
That's where you come in, co-host with the Mo-host.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's right. Now, that was the top 10 list. Mm-hmm. And again, we're very happy that you're joining us via TalkStream Live. Before the show, we're going to basically continue with the top 10 list, although I'm not calling it the top 10 list. More news, folks. I got it all in front of me. I was talking earlier about these protests in Chicago, how they're introducing this drug that's 200 times more potent than heroin. So, I mean, they're doing that, obviously, to attack the black America in Chicago.
Anybody who's left there, white, black, Latino, it doesn't matter.
And they're making things worse because the protests have erupted over this 16-year-old, true scumbag who had pictures of himself holding guns, had tattoos on his face, and apparently he pointed a gun at the police and then they shot him. And I mean, I don't see why this should be even protest worthy. If anything, it's just, again, George Soros stirring up the out-of-town agitators and the Democratic COINTELPRO. That's why you had Hillary Clinton praising Al Sharpton, because they're mobilizing these people. In Chicago especially, that's why many elites are buying these Vivos luxury bunkers out of state. They're leaving the state. It's a mass exodus of millionaires out of Chicago because they're stirring shit up over there, folks. I mean, this article is up on Fox 32 Chicago, and it's all part of the drug war, folks. You got a drug that's 200 times more potent than heroin sweeping the streets of Chicago, and this is pretty much the Iran-Contra with the CIA all over again, how it happened in Los Angeles, folks. I mean, do people in the hood have planes parked in their garages? No, only the CIA has planes parked in their garages, folks. So there's no way they could bring coke from Nicaragua and El Salvador all the way to LA. Only the CIA is doing that. So I mean, that's who introduced crack cocaine into Los Angeles. It was the CIA.
Of course, and in New York also.
So anyway, if there wasn't an easier way to have these Black Lives Matter protesters, agitators, freaking Jarvis Fultons or Trayvon Martins, whatever they call themselves, whatever they fake their deaths or whatever they do. But a lot of them, they do this to target the regular black man, so that he's targeted by the police. But they're making it easier for all minorities to get shot, pretty much. If you grew up playing Nintendo 1985 and you like Duck Hunt, there's a new way to get you killed by the cops, folks. And it's pretty much a gun company that's making a real gun that looks just like Nintendo's Duck Hunt gun.
Wow.
So, I mean, this one has got no orange tip, and I think it's a new way to just basically get you popped.
Duck, and fucked.
Duck, and fucked by the police. Seriously. Like I was mentioning earlier, the study by Dr. Twenge and the Millennium. Now, it states, are they the greatest generation or the most narcissistic? Now, when you hear this show, the average listener that doesn't know who Bruce Montalvo is may think that I am narcissistic. Well, really, I'm not. I am just optimistic, and it's bravado. # bravado all the way. And it's because I'm a millennial. But here's the thing. I pretty much grew up and had to eat vegetation off the side of the street until I became a true capitalist, folks. Okay, so I know what it's like to be poor and then rise to the peak of my life. Now living happily married to the greatest hip-hop artist on the planet and making beautiful jewelry, making, not taking. Okay? And that's the thing. I know that hard work, blood, sweat, and tears will get you what you want. And that are definitely the qualities that many millennials have. So don't believe all the crap and the mumbo jumbo that the baby boomers spit out about us millennials. And be sure to look at that study, that book by Dr. Twenge, The Generation Me. I thought it was quite riveting. Good study. They always want to badmouth us millennials, saying that we're lazy and we're this and we're that. I mean, you see, the baby boomers, when they were told by their parents to leave their homes, they didn't have a $17,000 student loan debt looming over their head, did they? Mm-hmm. I mean, they had all the shots. They had all the breaks. So, and in the meantime, they were brainwashing the millennials, telling them that, oh, it's okay, Johnny, that you struck out and you lost the Little League World Series. You still get a participation trophy.
Right, so they get you sucker punched to get into these colleges, so they start absorbing all these people, and then, weekends on certain colleges, and then everybody's in debt,
and that's the type of world that Hillary Clinton and that bum Bernie Sanders would thrive in. And every time I hear about Hillary Clinton, I always picture her next to her secret lover, Uma Abedin, and that's exactly what the internet is obsessed with. They're obsessed with pictures of these two lesbians together, okay? And I think it's appropriate if every time they put these two lesbians together now, they use the song "Secret Lovers." That's what they are, right? I mean, don't you just hear that song every time you see the two of them? Okay, Uma from far away, looking with worried look on her face as they ask Hillary about Benghazi and her email. Just see she's worried for her.
I'm waiting for her to say
lover.
Benghazi. Is that a pocketbook label?
Yo, that sounds like a designer handbag, doesn't it? I mean, they actually make. And you know what's worse, folks? It's the people who support Hillary. There was this video that we saw, unfortunately, of these people and how they support Hillary. They were calling her a boss. They were saying that she was a boss lady for how she handled Benghazi. I mean, are you fucking kidding me? NATO in blowing up and turning Libya into smithereens is all the working of Hillary and her Illuminati shadow government cabal who went in there to basically do a gun running operation for the Mujahideen, Al-Qaeda, a.k.a. ISIS, to arm them and arm Hamas and arm the whole lot of them who, the last time I checked, want to kill Jews.
Yeah, people don't remember. They don't even remember what Benghazi was now. I mean, that's like a long time already. Bruce, you really, just keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? They only remember emails. What were the emails about? It doesn't matter. It was emails, I think,
what
right?
I'm getting at is that these people are degenerate. These people are depraved. That's why they're Democrats. And, the thing is I'm a sexual libertarian. I don't care what you do in your bedroom. But obviously, Ted Cruz cares what you do in your bedroom. You believe Ted Cruz, folks? Ted Cruz actually opposed self-pleasuring activities and devices. He actually voted that you have no right to double-click your mouse or stroke your own beef.
No.
I have it right here in front of me. Telegraph.co.uk. Ted Cruz doomed war on sex toys and masturbation. Let me say that again on air. Masturbation.
Wow.
It's a funny word to say on air.
So people can't jerk off? Is that what it is?
First of all, you can't do what Ted Cruz is. is basically jerk off. That's what he is, a big jerk off. You just look at his freaking face. I think that the whole Alumbrado sect probably jerked off on Ted Cruz's face, and that's how he got into the Illuminati. That's why he keeps his freaking hand in his pocket.
Yeah, well, doesn't Cruz, does that mean cross?
Cruz, yes, Cruz.
Isn't he like say he's standing up for his cruz? His
cross? Yeah, for the cross of the Knights Malta cross.
Yeah,
yeah,
he's saying
good Nazi.
He's like the God spoke to him or something like that.
Look, first of all, I don't understand why God would speak to a Canadian to run America.
Because his name is Cruz. His name is Cross, right? So
Canadian, Operation 40, Cuban. I mean, what the hell is this guy? What is this guy?
Ugly.
Yeah. Ugly, and he says you have no due process if you decide you want to pop one out or double-click your mouse, folks. I mean, this guy, anybody that endorses Ted Cruz is the equivalent of a freaking zealot. Just a religious zealot. That's what you are if you support Cruz. I'm sorry, folks. And that leads me to this next story. This is a fun one. Female masturbation is a direct path to Satan. Now that story sounds like Ted Cruz wrote it himself. Oh. What do you think of that? Do you think that's a pathway to Satan? Do you feel yourself going to hell?
El Paso de Satano?
See, we've been working on our Spanish during this show, folks. Yes, that's right. That's a funny story. Female masturbation is direct path to Satan.
Really? How come I never saw Satan when I jerked off then?
Well, who did you see? Jesus with oranges from the 91 freeway?
Looked like you, I think.
All right. Was I dressed as a nun? Because that's who Katy Perry in this next story. Katy Perry is probably going to be dressing her boys in, or whatever. She's starting some cult in Los Felix.
I was in a nun.
She won a battle to buy a nun's covenant in Los Felix. So again, another Laurel Canyon just artist now has a covenant in Laurel Canyon. Now she has her own nunnery, Illuminati nunnery.
I wonder if she'll make milk with that nunnery milk. I don't know. It could be really nasty. Like
it's probably gonna be like a freaking
virgin nunnery milk.
It's probably gonna be like a freaking Pasolini film.
Yeah, right.
That's what it's gonna look like.
You know, I had originally photographs of me, promo shots that I took with a nun outfit, right?
Oh, yes, they're all over my bathroom wall.
Right. And you know, we were on Virgin, and they had this really cornball...
Actually, those are the pictures that I have in my wallet that the TSA agent was looking at through my sexy pictures in my wallet.
He was looking at the nun photographs?
No.
Oh. But that would have been really fucking nasty, and then...
I should have kicked his ass, but, you know, they got Homeland Security and the feds right there, and they're just dying to put me on some no-fly list. So, you know, you have to behave with the Gestapo, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, so remember on the flight, they had that virgin nun singing and dancing on how to buckle your seatbelt.
Not only that, but let me get into the paranormal here, folks. We were flying back to the democratically infested Brooklyn, New York, and we're flying back from Florida, and we were over North Carolina. We were over a place called Kill Devil Mountain, and to the right of me there was these religious Jews, and I noticed that they started praying right away. They weren't watching TV because I pretty much figured that they think the TV is Satan. So, you know, I'm watching TV, I'm going through the channels, and as soon as we're over Kill Devil Mountain in North Carolina, folks, I see on Disney a triangle and a silver Baphomet dancing in the triangle. And I think to the right of us was, in fact, the Bermuda Triangle. So we literally flied over the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah.
So I literally felt like I was in the Twilight Zone.
That's pretty crazy. It's just like one of those things.
The thing that got me was like that foreshadowed that something creepy would happen was when I noticed, I kind of subconsciously noticed something going on with the religious Jews to my right.
And they were Spanish
They were speaking Spanish. You noticed that,
yeah.
Right? I noticed that. We noticed that.
Probably from Argentina or Cuba.
Well, they're coming from Florida, so they're probably Cubano Jews.
Probably, yeah. Probably.
They eat no sandwich like me, man. Ponle jamón, man.
There's
Más jamón.
Argentinian Jews there also.
Argentinian Jews. But isn't that creepy? Doesn't that make your skin crawl, folks?
Yes.
I mean, Kill Devil Mountain, and on Disney Channel, again, if you look at Disney, is just totally known for their subliminal sexual programming.
You think they could have timed it like that, Bruce? Or you think it's just one of those synchronicity things? That
No, it was definitely something from the Bruce Montalvo Zone.
I see. Yeah.
That's right. It was. That doesn't just happen, folks. If you go to my YouTube channel and you followed my reports, you see that sometimes I find myself between the crossroads of the strange and the paranormal. They truly just come together and meet face to face, right in front of me sometimes, folks.
Bruce is the poster boy for the paranormal, for the future, and the present. So get used to it. He's had more paranormal experiences than the average Shlomo.
Speaking of paranormal experiences, there's an article on independent.co.uk about Big Brother. And Big Brother is worried that way too many people are having anal sex right now.
No.
That's right. Apparently, they're worried that too many people are taking it up the poop chute.
No way. That's not true.
You are calling me a liar in front of the millions and millions of the Montalvo Nation?
Wasn't he talking about like a purple dildo, like sticking it up, as like torturing somebody, like, I don't know. But like...
Dear God.
That's really weird. I mean,
you're getting worse than Howard Stern.
I was just making a joke, but they didn't have to take it seriously, the NSA.
I don't know.
Maybe too many people got excited. They just love
the
it.
The NSA listens to your jokes all day long, but this is a better story. The government, it wouldn't surprise me if the government wants to know about, doing something strange for a piece of change in somebody's freaking anus. I mean, that's the stuff they're into, the whole Kundalini, opening their third eye, freaking fruity closet masony kind of thing that they're into, right? But here's the thing. They want to castrate sex offenders now. I think I mentioned that earlier. But one state announced that plans to castrate sex offenders. I think it's great. I think they should not only castrate them. I mean, if it's like a 50-year-old guy that's preying on kids or a 30-year-old guy, not these wobblers where it's like an 18-year-old and his like 16-year-old girlfriend.
That's retarded.
That's retarded. Don't castrate that guy. But if it's like the 30-year-old that's going after the 16-year-old
12-year-olds,
or the 12-year-olds or the 50-year-old going after the little kids, not only castrate them, folks, but throw them in a jail that's infested with rats and televise the rats eating his balls. Okay, him or her or vice versa, whatever. Just have rats eat their genitals live on pay-per-view, and I'd pay for it. I'd pay to watch something like that.
Do you think that's a bit, like, primitive, like what they did?
No, I think it teaches an eye for an eye. I think it teaches that if you're going to do something, you squirrely bastard, you better think twice because there's repercussions.
Okay, so why is that any different than the Persians?
You'll have your balls eaten by... Well, there aren't that many differences. That's why you see, these stupid Iraq war veterans that come back and the depleted uranium just really went to their heads. And they're trying to explain the differences between Christian white men and Arabs. There really is no difference. They'll both kill their daughter. I mean, the redneck Arab will kill his daughter because she's dating a black man. And then the pubic hair-faced goat eyeball eater will kill his daughter just for the hell of it. Because, he diddled her like Muhammad diddled, freaking little kids or whatever. That's the thing. You see, there is no difference.
Did they say that in the Quran that Muhammad had sex with little kids?
I don't know. I don't read Jesuit squiggly lines.
But a lot of those guys did have a lot of wives, and sometimes they would buy the child, from the mother just to take care of them.
That reminds me of a story. You told me that you were visiting Israel one time, and some goat eyeball eater in the middle of the desert asked your father if he can buy you for how many camels?
40.
40 camels.
Uh-huh.
That sounds like a story out of like Aladdin or something.
Yeah. That's funny. He looked like a bot. Yeah.
Oh man, the things he would have done to you.
It's probably
The
about his,
nasty,
like,
nasty
uncle.
things he would have done to you.
He was just standing in the middle of the town with a llama.
I like that llama song. Here's a llama, there's a llama, 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 here's a llama, llama, llama. It's on YouTube. Anyway, the Temple of Baal. The Masons are known for their powerfully negative imagery. That's how they get people to just quiver in fear right away when you're in front of their architecture. And I'm one of the experts in finding Masonic architecture anywhere, the sublime architecture that they think you're not going to see. And I don't know if it's true, but apparently I was set to go to Times Square and report live as they were going to introduce their god's temple, basically Jabulon Temple, the Temple of Baal, was going to be unveiled in New York and in London. But now there are rumors swirling about that it was canceled. So for that, I just say, damn before it's news. Really, I mean, I don't even know what's real and what's not. 1 minute, oh, the arches of Baal are going up. Get your camera ready and go cover it. And now I don't even know if it's going to be there.
You don't believe the vigilantes.
I don't know, folks. But did you know that London was once home to an ancient Roman temple dedicated to the goddess Isis? That's what it is. They're dedicating the Temple of Jabulon, if they do open it up, to Baal in New York, London, Shiva's at CERN. I mean, all these deities, apparently presidents might even meet in secret at some type of secret shadow event and summon, who knows, even the African deity Marduk. I mean, you don't know what these guys are into. I mean, it's a strange world. And most of Americans, a good percentage of them, believe that we're being run by some type of reptilians. Now, that sounds funny to me. I think that they're being just taken for a ride with that one, and it's not reptilians that they're being run by. It's Nazis that escaped via the Vatican rat lines into America and have everybody thinking that they're lizards, when really, when they get angry, Germans, their eyeballs kind of slit. But that doesn't mean that they're freaking lizards, blood drinking lizards.
Right. They just kind of emulate it.
But could they be? I mean, could there be more to this? I mean, it goes back to ancient hieroglyphics, ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics. You always see the overlords, the dictators, the totalitarians always have this type of snake symbolism to them.
Maybe what you see is a slight inbreeding. Is it a lot of the monarchs inbred, so they had this like just a weird, like how Down syndrome people have this Chinese thing going on with their eyes a little bit. So maybe there is that kind of inbreeding, weird energy twinkle thing going on. I don't know. Maybe you can't just change it. I don't know. I don't know.
Anyway, if you look and study history, folks, you'll see that these Germans, these Bavarians, these Palestinians, they very much have roots in being the perpetual enemy of the Jewish people, which is the Amalek. Yeah. I believe these people are the Amalek, and metaphysically, who knows, maybe they could be controlled by other dimensional deities that are in fact what the people perceive as reptilians. Or whatever. I mean, it's just getting creepy, and it's getting late night now. So you hear me talking about, the paranormal now on the Bruce Montalvo Show, folks.
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely something else that's going on. There's a layer that people don't get to see. There's a club that maybe Brotherhood of the Snake or not. They're
you keep
connected.
Seeing that logo being rehashed over and over again of the dragon eating its own tail over and over again. You saw it during the Super Bowl. You see, wrestlers in WWE using that logo with the snake eating its own tail. Again, that esoteric Brotherhood of the Snake logo. It pretty much represents Shiva as well, and you see it being used in CERN. I mean, it's everywhere. It's the Illuminati's logo.
Yep.
Very scary, folks. And now we're moving on to some last minute news here. Africa Bambaataa. So, we are all about hip hop and rap on this show too, folks. Being that we have a great co-host with the Mo host, the best in the hip hop business here in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. This should interest you. They're smearing Africa Bambaataa because he's very outspoken about the Illuminati takeover of rap and how they basically just denigrated rap and turned it into nothing but FBI COINTELPRO music. Pop, bubblegum, gay Luciferian music.
Exactly.
So now, being that he is very adamant at exposing the hip-hop Illuminati, Africa Bambaataa, in my opinion, is being attacked with these sexual abuse claims, which he is saying are baseless and cowardly. And this is none other than coming from RollingStone.com. So they're attacking Africa Bambaataa, and I mean, like I said, he's exposed this. He's a pioneer of the electro funk hip hop, and he's pretty big here in Brooklyn. Performed here a couple of times since I've lived here. Right?
Yeah, no.
This is their MO. I mean, they do this.
Right. Whatever they just Bambaataa's always been strumming to his own beat. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how tight he wants to be with that club. I don't know what he does. You know what I'm saying? He's cool. I met him a few times. He's nice. I like him. But I don't know what the business is. I don't know who runs what. I just know that he kind of always did his own little thing, you know?
Right.
Not everybody's like the most well-paid and well-invested. Maybe they infiltrated the music even harder after a certain point. I don't know.
Well, he was very outspoken about exposing the hip-hop Illuminatis. That's for sure.
Yes.
So it does surprise me that they're attacking him now. They were just, counting their chickens until they decided to attack this hip-hop electro-funk legend.
Yeah. Bambaataa maybe uses it for press, too. I don't know.
Well, that's what's circulating right now. But before we go, we have one final article to go over. This article of Hillary pushing for Area 51 to reveal Area 51 documents. And again, Bill Clinton's over here stressed out about UFOs. I'm having a Reagan moment. He's going around saying that the world should unite, just like Reagan did, under some type of alien event, against some type of Project Bluebeam event. What are they going to do? They're going to project the freaking demon woman, Lizardly Clinton, over the freaking New York Empire State Building, hovering over it with like slit reptile eyes. I mean, I don't understand how this woman would want to reveal Area 51 documents, which is pretty much a bunch of reverse engineered Raytheon stuff, and not want to reveal what she did in Benghazi, or those steamy emails between her and her secret lover, Uma Abedin, right? Or all those drug deals she did, or all the women that she basically threw under the bus that Bill raped. I mean, this woman is a grade A criminal with slit freaking eyeballs, just a reptilian wench, and I mean, she's worse than Meryl Streep's corpse in The Giver.
Right, and she's about as well paid of an actress as she, and just get used to it because that's our next president.
Oh,
and
God.
Now it's time to say goodbye to all our company.
That's right. Thank you for joining us, folks. Another rousing, epic, entertaining news talk radio freaking show known as the Bruce Montalvo Show.
Yeah, even though, it would be shit if I wasn't here. But I don't really make a big deal. That's right. It would be shit if I wasn't here.
Okay, she's on crack now, folks. She's literally traded in the marijuana pipe for the crack pipe live on there. Thank you for joining us. I just whipped out my talcum powder, and I just
Oh, yeah.
Big slapped her silly, folks. Anyway, no, we love her, folks. We love Jaja. Yeah, I definitely unzipped. Okay, we gotta go. Hasta la vista.